Welcome to the Thrift Store Kitchen Review, where I test all the weird junk from the thrift store so you don't have to. I pity the fool who missed out on Mr. T's Flavor Wave Turbo Oven for only $8.99 with the optional extender ring for only $3.99 additional at No Longer Bound Thrift Store in Woodstock, Georgia. Welcome to today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. So let's get to unboxing this. The first box is just the extender ring. Essentially, it's a metal extender ring. It goes under the lid in order to give a few extra inches of space for cooking large items such as turkeys and hams. Now let's take a look what we have in the main box. First we have the lid. This has temperature control, time, power and heat lights, and underneath is the heating element, which is essentially a fan and a very hot halogen bulb. This thing is just supposed to clip onto the handle so you could pick it up safely. This is the main cooking bowl. Has two racks that come out. They can sit one on top of the other. They work a little better when they're in the bowl, so you can cook multiple layers of food. This set of handles that is used to pick up the entire device at once. And this metal sheet, whatever it is, that fits on here, that the main bowl of the Flavor Wave oven sits on. The Flavor Wave oven is a convection oven, which is kind of the predecessor to today's air fryers. These were slightly more awkward, and honestly, the term air fryer was somewhat more marketable than convection oven, because people hear the term air fryer and what it does, and they think it's a healthier option, which it is. It's a much simpler option than a regular fryer, and it was able to take off, not to mention the multiple different models of air fryers that are available are much less unwieldy, easier to handle, easier to fit in where you need it to go in your kitchen. So we're set up now. I just took the Flavor Wave Oven Turbo and cleaned the main bowl and the racks out with soap and water. I have it set up here on the table on the cutting board because I really don't know how hot it's going to get. And we're about to put it through its first test. Usually this would be the last test, but if this works, we got bigger plans. So I'm gonna set it to 400, turn it on. I do have to flip that handle down because on the back there is a safety switch that once the handle is up, it turns off immediately. Now this is getting very hot very quickly. So it's time to find out how good of a hot dog this makes. Lift the lid, you see how quickly it turns off. I'm just gonna throw our hot dog on the top rack right there and let it go. I do like the glass bowl a lot, to be honest with you, because you can immediately observe exactly what's going on while you cook. This product was in honestly pretty mint condition. The only issue with the main functioning portions of it that I saw wasn't even something functional. Right here, the lettering rubbed off on the word temperature, so it just says perature. Oh no, big deal. Now, the other things that were not included with it, there's supposed to be a set of tongs that are used for lifting the racks and a manual as well. Neither of those were there. Manuals can be found online for pretty much anything, so it's not really necessary. So we're gonna let this cook and see how good of a glizzy that the Mr. T Flavor Wave Turbo Oven can make us. That bowl does heat up as well, so you do need to be careful with the glass. When you have the top rack installed, you can hear that vibration while it's cooking as well. You can see the hot dog starting to cook. I do want to take the lid off for a minute and actually feel how well it's cooking. It is getting warm. I'm going to flip it over, put the lid right back on, shut the handle, let it cook on this side also. If I pull the camera down, you can look into the device, you can actually see the hot dog starting to get darker, starting to plump up some. Gonna check our dog physically one more time. That hot dog's starting to look quite delicious, actually. I'm gonna take my bun and throw it in there too. Let that get some crisp. Let y'all get one more good look inside, because I'm gonna be taking this off in a minute. That hot dog and that bun both look quite good. That hot dog should be about ready any minute. I do like my hot dogs cooked a little bit more burnt, so I'm gonna let it sit. Don't want to leave the bun in there too long, because that might start burning, but we'll see. Flipping that bun one more time, that got crisp fast. That hot dog looks about ready, so we're gonna go ahead and stop it. Bun is nice and crisp. That hot dog is well cooked. Take a bite of this. So once again, we have yet another device that cooks a hot dog far, far better than a dedicated hot dog toaster actually does. So we got bigger plans for this machine this afternoon. So since we know this thing can cook a hot dog and cook it quite well, I don't think we have any need to test it again on anything cheap. We're going ham. Our ham is now ready to be cooked in the Flavor Wave Turbo Oven. Due to the size of the ham, this will require the use of the extender ring in order to fit. I'm going to put the top on. This is a spiral sliced ham. Technically, it is already cooked. It is supposed to cook for approximately 15 minutes a pound at 250 degrees. Now, in the past, I have cooked hams in my regular oven, and while following that instruction, it almost never comes out hot at that temperature. But with this device, being that it's a convection oven, cooking in much closer quarters than the oven, I have more confidence that it actually is going to work. At approximately an hour into the cook time, I'm going to have to stop and glaze the ham. So let's get this set up and started. And we're gonna see if Mr. T's Flavor Wave oven is ready for the A-Team. The ham has been cooking for approximately 5 minutes, and I've never used one of these devices. Now, one thing I'm noticing, I'm just waiting for it to do it again, is that the heating element light turns on. I'm assuming it gets to the heat and turns back off. I'm guessing maybe it's because it's cooking at a low temperature and it does this in order to hold the heat. And see, it just turned off. It's turning on and off quite rapidly, and when I was cooking the hot dog at the much higher temperature, it did not do this. So we're gonna let it cook. As I said, I don't know if this is an issue or not, but we'll find out. Right now we're about 25 minutes into the cook cycle. I do believe that the light is supposed to do that. It seems that the halogen bulb likely operates at only one temperature, and the shutoff is to regulate the temperature within the machine. I am beginning to smell ham. The ham is definitely cooking, and you can even see drippings from the ham. Kind of hard to see on the camera here, but I assure you they're there, beginning to collect in the bottom of the bowl. Here we are doing our 40-minute check on the ham. As you can see, that's getting some real good color on it. It's smelling really good. So I'm going to start preparing the glaze. So our ham just hit the 1 hour mark. So I'm gonna remove the head unit here, which is, I'd imagine, very hot. So I'm gonna put it on this metal baking sheet. Like I had said before, when I've cooked with the oven, I've had issues with the ham not even being anywhere near hot by the time it's supposed to be done. While it still has half an hour to cook, I want to see if it's hot. So I have my thermometer here, and I'm going to separate these meat flaps and insert my probe. Unfortunately, I'm having the same issue here. The ham is still very cold in the middle, but we're gonna put the glaze on and we're gonna let it cook for a little while longer. As well as that, I'm gonna pull some of this juice out of the bottom and baste the ham to add some moisture back in. All right, so we've moistened up the ham some. I'm gonna stir this glaze. The package said it's supposed to be a honey glaze, but when I dabbed my finger in it and took a little taste, the main flavor I tasted was cinnamon. I'll be right back. This spoon is just getting in the way. All right, I'm back. Let's finish glazing this bad boy. Okay, so we're going to put it back in. I'm going to turn the temperature up just slightly, and I'm going to put 30 minutes on that timer. We just did another check with about 5 minutes to go. It's still somewhat cool inside. It's definitely getting hotter. I am going to give it one more basting. I'm going to add a little bit more time. This ham is ready to go and it looks great. I did have to add some extra cook time, which I discussed earlier, but I've had to do that cooking it in the regular oven too. Nice and hot. That glaze is nice and brown. I'm gonna grab a tiny little piece off the front and give it a taste. That is very hot, and that is delicious. So we are going to be eating this for dinner tonight. So my opinion of Mr. T's Flavor Wave Oven is, honestly, I like it. While it's different than modern air fryers, it actually has some advantages. Number one, it's larger. Number two, it's much easier to clean. Now I understand why this didn't catch on. It's very large, so it makes it impractical for a lot of people. But I do like it. I'm going to keep this one and might even make some videos in the future trying something else. So if you think the Flavor Wave Oven is something that you would like to try, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is the Flavor Wave itself is no longer manufactured. It was made by a company called Thane Products or Thane Manufacturing, something like that. But I went to Thane's website and unfortunately they no longer sell this product. The good news, you can either A, find it in a thrift store or Facebook marketplace or something like that used, or if you want one new, there's a company out there called Big Boss that makes a virtually identical product. It is available on their website. I'm sure you could Google it and find other sellers. if I remember correctly, it wasn't too unreasonably priced either. Thank you very much for joining us here at the Thrift Store Kitchen Review today. We hope you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can find out when we put out future content. And please remember to support your local thrift stores.